Hello. We are going to another Stormblood Extreme. This is the last one for the Four Lords series. The Wreath of Snakes Extreme. For this one, I believe we had already done a bit of prog, like another instance. I don't think it was a full instance, I think it was just like a handful of pools, like 2 or 3 pools. And someone needed to leave, so we went out, got some new people. So this, I think this might just be a clear video. And it is minimum eye level with no echo though, so we'll see the majority of the mechanics. We split up into light parties here and marked the healers because there will be a mechanic later where we'll have healer stacks where you have to stand with your healer to soak up damage. Okay, let's move ahead here. So we were just deliberating kind of a few strategies and stuff. So, per usual, tank will point the boss north, and if you're not the tank, try to stay away from the front. Fifth element is a bit of a raid ride. Okay, and then here we've got AoEs that will need to spread out. Okay, the standard stuff here. While that's happening, we do get these crisscross patterns of stuff, and so, but you have time to wait for it, so you can wait for this thing to go off and then go into the safe spot. You have a bit of time. Show that again. Now you can start moving and adjusting into it. The people who get hit with it do get this water resistance down though. It goes away pretty quickly, so ideally the situation here is you don't want people to be overlapping with each other, because if you get hit with yours and you get hit with another one, or you get hit with this thingy, you'll likely take more damage. You know what I'm saying? Water resistance now. So it's just a lot of dodging. The boss will now teleport to a random place. Like sometimes what I saw was he went here, sometimes he was here, like a few times he was over here. So we'll just go to a random corner. I'm not sure if that's actually baited or not, but in any case, he's at a random corner and there will be a shape. And you'll have to look at the shape. So this shape is like a yin yang one, okay, and so that's going to do a circle AoE, and so therefore you want to stay outside of the hitbox and a little bit further away. It'll be important to figure out what these mechanics look like. There's another variation that will be a donut AoE, and I'll make sure to point that out. This next move is requires a tank swap. Curse Keeper. What it's gonna do is give the main tank a debuff, okay, over here, called Curse Keeper. If you have Curse Keeper on you, then I don't think I hovered over it on this, but essentially whatever attacks you get hit with, it will then explode into an AoE. And so this tank, if they were still the main tank, if they were still standing here taking hits for us and they get hit with a bunch of stuff, then after a few moments all the damage they took will explode out, and then everyone else will take the same amount of damage. Okay, and so ideally you want to do a tank swap here, because this can wipe the party, because right after the Curse Keeper thingy happens, we get a tank buster. Alright, and so if the tank that was main tank doesn't swap to the other person, then the main tank will have this Curse Keeper thingy get hit with a tank buster, and then when they explode later, it will damage all of us. And we will basically all get hit with a tank buster, okay? But because of the way we did it here, they didn't get hit with it, and we all just get hit with like a small amount of damage, which is like an auto attack, basically. An auto attack's worth of damage, essentially. Okay, so one more time here. After the circle or donut goes off, we have Curse Keeper, and when the cast is like, I don't know, around here or so, we want to do the tank swap. So the other tank needs to provoke. Like, when the cast is going off, the boss will lock onto the main person that they were already on. This happens in like other fights too. The attack itself will go onto that person, but then if you do a tank swap in the middle of the cast, then the next attack will go to the other person. Okay, so main tank is now going to run away, and then the other person, the other tank, gets hit with a tank buster here. And then main tank is away from us so that they're gonna explode in a corner. Alright, so remember, you need a tank swap for that. Summon Cheeky. We're going to get some ads here. There's two red ones and one blue one. The red ones are going to tether to random players, and these red ones need to be pointed away from everybody. Okay? And then everybody else will stay stacked in the middle here for this blue one to do its attack. Okay, there we go. So the blue one rolls towards the stack, and then the red ones roll towards the individual people. Alright, and then after that, we've got these two dudes on the side who are doing big circle AoEs. Now, the two dudes on the sides are gonna do a mix of stuff. Right, we've got these line AoEs that you need to dodge. And then the two dudes have these tethers. Ideally, the tanks will go grab these tethers and point them away from everybody. Okay, so that didn't happen. And so the two people here took the hits from the tethers, and they ended up dying. Okay, see, so these people. Okay, NB is the summoner. PK is one of the tanks. Okay, but let's see, where was... Yeah, looks like there was somebody else back there that got hit with it. So they weren't with the party. ZZ, where were they? Let's see. Okay, ZZ's right here. So let's see where they ended up. Okay, they're still back there. They're right here. Okay, so they're both right here. I know you can't see because of the chat box thing, but they're both down here together. And so I think ZZ might have thought that the tether was on them, and so they didn't move, and so they both ended up dying. Okay. In any case, the tanks should ideally take those, because the really big dudes that drop, not these red things, but the ones that show up, these guys, oh, I guess you could see them momentarily here. They jump from the main boss. These dudes, okay, they're the ones that jump on the side, and then they'll jump onto the people with the tether later. So this first set of tether, DPS can handle it fine enough, but the really big dude that jump over there, that's that other tether you want. The other tether. This one, you want the tanks to pick those up and mitigate for that. Okay. Also, I just noticed this thing. There's a line here. Oops. Oh, what is this? Hello, this is a fancier one. What is this, a pen? Calligraphy pen, dang, what's a pencil? What's that? Wow, that's too thin. Okay, I'm getting distracted. There was something here. There's a tether here from the person. Oh yeah. This. The person who has the stack marker ideally will move a little bit further back so this spiky tether becomes a more thin, like purple line. If you've done other raids, you might have already seen it, but if it's a spiky one, we'll get hit with more damage. And so if you extend it out a little bit more, then we won't get hit with as much damage. We were fine, but if you are struggling, that might be something that you take a look at. Anyway, so we avoid these AoEs. Ideally, tanks will go pick up these tethers, and everyone else just stay in the center. Tanks will pick up the tether and like go off to the side. Like this tank picked up their tether and then they moved to the side so that when this one jumped here, they kept it all contained over there. Okay, here we've got some ads. So we'll just DPS these ads down. Use your AoEs and stuff. When these ads die though, they will explode a little bit, and so if you're having trouble with heals, then you can stagger them out a little bit. The bigger ones are going to explode a bit more than the smaller ones. And then we got some more ads over here. Okay, so that one explodes a lot more than the other ones. Almost 10,000, whereas the other ones do like a couple thousand. Yeah, so you either don't get hit. I think I might have had a shield or something. Or like 2,000. Yeah, see, so I had a bit of a shield, and so one of these explosions don't necessarily hit me, but the other one did, and so it took 2,000, whereas the other one was almost 10,000. But yeah, we just take care of the ads, and oh yeah, these things do some like attack. I think it's called stone something, and you can interrupt that. Yeah. Stone skin. The cast bar is like glowing red, and so you can use your interrupt for that, or interject I think it's called. Let's see. Stone skin, a massive absorb shield. Due to the ad phase being a DPS check, it's wise to silence stone skin whenever cast. Okay, so here we've got our DPS meter here. You know, if we get to 100, it's likely going to be a wipe. And so stone skin seems like it will absorb damage, and so you won't be able to do damage to this thing enough and like kill it. And so you want to interrupt this so that you can actually kill it, and so you don't hit the enrage of the DPS check. Other than that though, you just take it down like everything else. And again, see how much it explodes. So it gets kind of spicy there with everything exploding at the same time, but it was fine. We managed it. Alright, phase change. Okay, so as you can see, we got hit with a big raid wide, and if we were slower, then it might have wiped us. But we are okay right now. We do have some debuffs here. Invulnerability, which is this one, and then drowning. We're all drowning right now because we're in water. Okay, so you gotta turn yourself and swim to the water and try to avoid these things. There's some parts that are glowing more. You try to avoid those when you're swimming back on land. I'm sure you'll take more damage as the water like explodes and stuff. Okay, but your goal is to get back onto land as soon as you can. Okay, now we've got snakes on the side of the stage, so you gotta go to the side of the stage that has the snakes because they're gonna rush across. We saw this in the normal version, I think. They'll rush us all across, and ideally your goal is to stay on the platform. If you're like here or something, you'll get knocked off the platform and then you'll start drowning again. Okay, like outside here. So you want to run towards the snakes, so when you get pushed, you're still on the stage. Okay, now behind us here we got this big dude, and so you want to make sure to turn your camera so you can see the big dude. It's gonna lift its arm up, and whichever side its arm is getting lifted up, it's gonna slam on that side, and so therefore you want to go on the other side. If you get hit with that, you'll get some vulnerability stuff or some other debuffs. Fifth element here, that is the raid wide. Okay, and then the dude's arm is big and up on this side, and so that means this side's gonna get cleaved. So make sure you're on the other side. Blunt resistance down. Okay. And a vulnerability up. Okay. Also, here, the arm over here is reaching up again, so make sure you're on this side. But then we also have Summon Shiki, so we gotta pay attention to the sides of the stage. Okay, so the snakes are over here, so I want to run over here so I get pushed down that way. But remember, the arm was lifting up on this side. Okay, so you have to wait a little bit. The arm's gonna hit over here, but the snakes are gonna show up here. So you wait for the arms to like slap down, and then you run towards the side where the snakes are. Or you can use knockback prevention. Oh, actually, I spoke too soon. This thingy, the arm actually is gonna probably slap down on this. So then we get a knockback. And so depending on where you're standing, will determine your fate. If you're standing here, you're gonna get knocked back into the water. And then the snakes will like rush towards you. I don't think, you know what, I'm not sure. If you're already in the water, do the snakes push you onto the water, or do they just drown you more? I'm not sure. But if you're standing on this, you're gonna get slapped with this arm thing. Maybe you'll die, I'm not sure. But you'll likely take a lot of damage. But what you can do, ideally, is stand close to the edge of this orange thing. And I know the snakes are on this side, and so I'm gonna stand here and just ride the knockback to the edge of the stage. There, see? So it pushed me back this way, and the snakes are over here, so then now they're gonna push me over there. Okay. I see so much water everywhere. I saw the stack marker go across my stage, and I hear it, and so I'm gonna go look for it, and I'll stack up for that. Oh, looks like it hit twice. Did it hit twice because it was on 2 healers, or was it just on 1? It looks like it was just on 1 healer. So, yeah, wait a minute. Was it just on 1 healer? Where's the other healer? Oh yeah, no, there's nothing on that healer. So for this one, it looks like there's just 1. Okay, also the big dude's gone, so we don't have to worry about that for a bit. Aramitama. This name is like has something to do with the debuffs and buffs, like the attacks and stuff. But you know me, I don't really know the names or reference the names very well. I just see circles and point at stuff. But that's probably what this debuff or this buff is. So the boss is buffed up. Oh yeah, is the boss like glowing more? Wait. Okay, so that's what the boss usually looks like. So this is probably like the emanation fight, if you've done that, where I mentioned like the blue Super Saiyan stuff around the boss over there, the Lakshmi fight. So here the boss is glowing a little bit more and it's got this buff, so it's likely that the attacks that the boss is gonna do different, more intense stuff. Okay, so we're in another phase. This is the donut AoE. See how there's like this dragon kind of swimming around and there's a circle here? So that means we want to go inside the hitbox. This is the variation of this other attack that we saw early, this circle yin and yang. Okay, so at the beginning here, you can also see the dragon one. It just depends on RNG, really. So make sure that you get used to what these look like if you're gonna run this fight. So this is a donut, so I'm gonna get inside the hitbox. Okay, inside the hitbox, but then I saw very quickly there was a yin and yang thing. Did you see that? It made a little noise too. Okay, dragon thing, and then there's a yin and yang thing. So that means we go inside the hitbox for the first hit and then immediately get out of there, because then the circle one's gonna go out. Okay? And so that's probably what this buff does. He'll do like 2 casts, one after the other. So you gotta watch for it. Kuji Kyuyi. Alright. Checkerboard stuff, so pick a safe spot. And stay in that safe spot, let it blow up, and then move to the next safe spot you see. Okay. Immediately after the checkerboard thing, we've got a circle AoE. Okay. And then the dragon AoE, which is a donut. So that means we have to stay outside, wait for the thing to go off, and then we run into the hitbox. Okay. And yeah, if you get hit, you get a vulnerability thing. Then inside the hitbox, looks like, yeah, you have a little bit, like max melee is enough to be safe for this. 5th element is the raid wipe. Oh yeah, see all his like glowing stuff here? He's buffed up. Serpent ascending. So we got AoEs on the side too. Or well, people have AoEs, and we're also baiting random AoEs. So you gotta get out of the way. Also, we've got these towers. So we need at least 1 person in each tower. And ideally, the people in the tower are not the people who had the circle AoEs. So this can get a little complicating. Okay, so let me go back a bit. There's a better way to coordinate this, but this party finder group was kind of like YOLO swag. So we didn't coordinate it too much, but let's see. It's 1 DPS, ZZ's another DPS. NB is another DPS. So this is either going to target all DPS or all the supports, so the tanks and healers. And so if you did the last fight, the Hell's Kier one, we did this situation where we paired up each DPS with a tank or healer. And so in this fight, you could do something similar. We have these towers here, right, in the quadrants. And so you could go to your quadrant, and depending on who has the AoE and who doesn't will determine who stands in the tower. So like if this is my quadrant, for example, and let's say this tank is my partner, I have the AoE, and so I just stay outside. And the tank does not have the AoE, and so they go inside and take the tower. And then a tank or healer would take this tower, and then the other people, the other supports would take the towers, and then all the AoE DPS people will just stay outside so we don't die. But before that happens, we do have to bait these AoEs that drop underneath us randomly. Okay, so here we kind of ran around a bit to sort it all out, but in the end we got most of the towers soaked in. So we had one healer here, one tank here, and then we needed one more tank on this side. I'm not sure where they are. Oh, they're right here. So I think they were just probably confused. They were probably running for this one, but we needed them on that side, so it is what it is, you know? It's not too bad, but it can do a decent amount of damage, and we'll get damage downs, and so it'll make the fight a little bit slower because we don't do as much damage. But the reason why we have to switch it up, the people with the AoEs can't go in there, is because, as you can see here, the AoE goes off first, and we get this water resistance down. And so if we also go in there and take the tower thing, we'll likely die. Okay, so you don't want to overlap those mechanics unless you want to sacrifice your DPS or your tanks and healers. You know, people do all sorts of wild strategies, but like I said, because we didn't have one of the towers soaked, we ended up getting some damage downs here. Okay, and then got hit with Serpent's Jaw because nobody soaked that one tower. Okay, but we survived, so it's not a big deal. But it can be tight if you don't have your healers keeping everything stacked out. Like, we had full health and a bunch of shields, so we made it through that. Yeah, if you're running this with a static or like a good party that likes to clean things up really well, like what you could do is, you know, for this, like right before this one, it would stack up in the middle to bait those AoEs. So like stack up in the middle here, and then once the Serpent's ascending thingy goes out, then everyone spreads to their corners. And then in your corner you figure out with your partner, like if you have the AoE or if they have the AoE, and if you have the AoE then you stay off to the side. If they don't have the AoE, they stay in the tower. Okay? That way, like, these things aren't all over the place. So we would bait all these in the middle and then go out. And go out. Rather than the way that we did it here, it was a bit messy. And so people were running around trying to like dodge. Both healers went for this one, and so they had to like figure out on the fly who was gonna like go over here. But then as you can see, this AoE is kind of covering this tower, and so it can be kind of tricky, and you don't want people to get hit with stuff. They made it here, but you know, you can always clean things up if you're struggling with stuff. But anyway, we've got a stack marker here. The other healer also has a stack marker, so you want to spread those out. So here we go, one group, the light parties we made at the beginning, we have one group over here, and then the other group has their own stack marker that they were dealing with. So we spread those, because here, if you get hit with this in this phase, you get a magic vulnerability up. Alright, so that's why you don't want to get hit with multiple of these ones. So we split it up so we have people on the other side taking other hits. I think we had a few too many people over here and not enough people in the other stack, but they survived it. It's okay. 5th element is the raid wide. Curse Keeper. Okay, so here's the thing we need to do a tank swap for. Okay, and then the tank with the curse thingy needs to run away from everybody. And then immediately after, the other tank is going to get hit with the tank buster. And this is tricky because if the tanks are going to do a tank swap and other people aren't aware of it and they're near the tank, they can possibly get hit with it. So ZZ happened to be standing on the side there, and so they got hit with the tank buster, and that's why they died. And so that's unfortunate. And so again, this is something that you could also clean up if you're struggling with the fight and wiping there. Then, like, because this tank is facing that way, like ZZ was staying over here, like off to the side or so, a bit forward, which you generally don't want to stand just in case of tank busters, but definitely with the other tank being there and then the boss turning all of a sudden, this person didn't have enough time to get out of the way. So that's something that you can discuss with your party. Okay, and then that big explosion thingy was the karmic curse that was exploding from the curse keeper person. They didn't take any hits with their little curse, and so therefore none of us get damaged. Now the thing is, right after that it happens again, so that means you have to do another tank swap for this. So now this tank gets the curse keeper, and then the other tank needs to you know, take aggro from the boss, and then they get hit with the tank buster. And then ideally this person did not get hit at all, so when they explode we don't take damage. Okay, so we didn't take damage, so that's good. 5th element, so raid wide. Summon Shiki, so we got some ads up. These are similar to the ones we saw in the beginning, the two big dudes. They'll jump to the sides. Okay, so we do have to watch out for these AoEs. The boss here is doing a donut AoE, so we want to get into the middle to dodge that, and then there was a circle yin and yang in the middle. So that means we're inside for the donut, wait for it to explode, and then get outside. But be careful to not run outside into these AoEs here. So inside, wait for the donut, and then run out. Okay, now, tethers. Tanks need to pick up these tethers. Okay, so a healer picked up the tether. This healer ended up taking a tether off to the side, and they died because they can't take the tether. So ideally the main tank should take this tether and like hang out up here or something with the boss. Okay, so that's why the healer died, okay? Because the big dudes on the side like jumped on him. Next set of ads, we've got the red wheels, and they'll tether to people, so you want to point the wheels away, and then we've got everybody else in the stack. And like we see, they're gonna back it up. They want to back it up a little bit more to extend it, but it's okay. Right after that, okay, wait. Just to confirm. See how they're pointing these tethers outside? That's good, so then the people in the middle don't take extra hits of stuff. There. Looks like you also get a knockback if you get hit with that red one. Okay, so Make sure you position yourself so you don't fall off into the water. And it looks like this person over here who had the red one over here, they're drowning right now from this debuff. So they have to like swim back up. Right after the stack marker though, we've got these little baited AoE things. So it's all in the center, so that's fine. But then we do have these like two bigger AoEs, these ones. The person who's drowning over there probably also has it. It looks like all the DPS have these AoEs. So you want to spread out. Oh, actually no, it's not all DPS. This one healer has it. So ideally spread out these AoEs. Oh, that person died again. Okay, so we stack in the thing. Oh, they came back and then they died. Okay. Run out of the AoEs. And then we got the checkerboard thing. And then we also got this big dude with its arm up. So watch out and don't stand on that side. I want to stand on this side. There's a lot going on here, huh? Raid wide, watch for the big dude's arm. Okay, so you don't want to be on this side, go this other side. Summon Cheeky. Okay, watch out for the arm. Again, look for the snakes. You can kind of hear the snakes, right? Over here on this side. So, now we take a look here. It's going to be a knockback thing. And so I'm going to stand around here to ride the knockback towards the snakes. So when they rush the stage, I don't fall off the stage. Okay, circle AoE. So that means we want to stay outside somewhere. And then we'll see if there's another one. Okay, so it's circle AoE and then donut AoE. So we stand on the outside, and then once the middle one blows up, then you go inside for the donut AoE. Okay. While that was happening, the big dude was doing stuff too. So you still have to watch out for that. See, he was lifting his arm over here. We were in a good position though, so we didn't get hit with that. Okay, so he was lifting this arm now. So we want to go to this other side. Okay, he's lifting this arm now, so we want to go on this side. Summon Cheeky is happening, so we gotta watch for whatever ads show up. Okay, so there's snakes, so we gotta position ourselves for the knockback. Oh, they're on that side. I didn't turn my camera fast enough, so I didn't go over there. Also, yeah, so you don't want to stand in the middle here, okay? I used my arm's length, so I didn't get knocked back. This was a split-second decision. In all the other ones, I was able to turn my camera and like go to the right place, but I didn't turn my camera fast enough and I ended up right here. And I didn't think I'd make it in time. And so I used my knockback prevention and then I walked over there myself, okay, to ride the snakes. And then here we've got the stack. Okay, I remember it will hit. Even though there's only one stack marker, it will hit each healer. And so you want to go to separate into your light parties. And so fortunately this healer like moved back out of the way. So this person ended up dying, the tank, because they took both hits. Okay, see, a lot of us are here. And because of this magic vulnerability up, if you get hit with the other one, you will die. Like you don't have enough health for it. Even though they're a tank, let's see. What was their health okay, their health is around the same as like what my health is. And so if you're, yeah, okay, so this DPS also didn't make it. So it hits kind of hard, okay? So you don't want to be in like both those. There's your raid light. Yeah, it can be confusing because you just see the 1 stack marker. But just know in this like final phase when he's like boosted up, this thingy indicates he's gonna do like 2 moves. Remember? Because like, for example, this does 1 set and then another set, okay? And then with the tank busters at some point, where was it? Here, it did 1 curse keeper thing and then another set of curse keepers. And so with this stack marker, it's the same thing. Like we see 1 stack marker, yeah, but then it's gonna do it again like a second time. So this last phase can be tricky like that, because then yeah, we have like the circle AoE and the donut AoE to go into. So even if it's not marked, you'll eventually keep dying to this. So that's why we have the light parties to split up the stacks. In any case, we're continuing. We're able to get some people back up. So it's all good. So here we got Curse Keeper, and so main tank is here, and fortunately we got the other tank up. And see, the rest of us are bunching up on the back, but the other tank is right here. So check it out. This person gets Curse Keeper, and then the other tank provokes. And we end up dying. This person, is that ninja or samurai? I always forget what this one is. This DPS and I am standing too close to the tank buster, and so we both die. Okay, and like I said, this is where you can clean up some stuff, right? Like doing tank swaps, keeping it a little bit safer for everybody. With the tank being here, they ended up standing in this spot, and so the boss rotated a little bit, and then we got hit with the tank buster, like AoE. And it's just little things that eventually, as you continue raiding, you'll pick up on. Like, technically we were behind the boss because the boss is pointing this way, but because of that slight movement with the tank buster switching there, it ended up making us stay in the, it's like we're in the front with the tank, even though we didn't move at all. Okay, so this is where, if you're tanking, you want to find better positions for yourself so that you can help save the party. And I know this was like chaotic enough because like the tank had died and they had just come back to life, and it was a whole thing like that. But just little things to look out for if you are struggling and you don't know why you might be dying to stuff. These little things do add up. So here we got another set of the Curse Keeper, and so the other tank is gonna get the Curse Keeper, and then you do another tank swap. Okay, and there we go. So see, in this configuration, we didn't have people over here, and then this person had moved over so they wouldn't get hit with stuff. So yeah, see, so this person moved, and then the other tank was over here, and so the boss was gonna turn that way, and so we can still stay in the back. And then, so raid wide. Circle AoE, and then donut AoE. So go outside and then run inside. Yeah, there we go. I was dead at the end, but you know, it's fine. It's a little bit messy, but we still got the clear, and it was pretty neat to be able to clear it pretty quickly. Like I said, like we did 2 to 3 other pulls before this one, with a few other people, so there were some new people in this one, but we had good healers. People were on their toes about like some of the mechanics, and so we were able to, you know, work together and get it done. So it's nice. Things don't always have to be perfect, you know. You just have to kind of stick with it and keep trying your best, and then you can accomplish things. And of course, if you want it to be more clean, you can go in and clean things up, but that was a not too bad fight. Okay, bye.